thank you so very much for joining us today on another interesting episode of the Authors Roundtable Show. So, with today on the show, I have another wonderful guest, an author and a client of us at PubCode Publishing. He has written two books, which have been proudly published by PubCode Publishing. So, he's going to introduce himself, and I believe that from the experience today, you'll be able to get one or two things, you'll be able to learn one or two things, and you'll be here like this to be motivated and inspired by the experience to also prepare us to work on our own book together as well. So, for example, we are watching this, you want to write a book, but you don't know how. I believe that this conversation today will motivate you. All right, thank you so very much for joining us today. So, kindly introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Venerable Emmanuel Amaje. Venerable Emmanuel or John Amaje. I'm a priest of the Anglican Communion, Diocese of Asaba. I hail from Kogi State. I'm a Gala by tribe, but I've stayed most of my life in Delta State, where I pastor.
Okay, so I believe that, and then also interesting thing about this particular episode, I feel is the second client or author that will do that on this particular show, who is also a priest, I mean a man of God. So if you are also a man of God here, or you're into ministry, but I feel that this conversation yesterday is going to motivate you to be able to challenge you as well to come in a published author. Thank you very much, sir, for that warm introduction. So I'd like to ask, you've written two books, yes. What inspired you to write your book? The first one is What's My Solution, and then the second one is The Wedding Day. I have one copy of it there. And then what inspired you to write your book? And what was that defining moment when you realized that the message needed to be in the book? Yes.
All right. What actually inspired me is the issue of the decline in marriage. I pastor congregation. I've handled issues relating to marriage, and I felt that instead of always communicating without documentation, there should be a proper documentation of some of these techniques in which you apply in the course, in which I apply in the course of handling premarital counseling sessions and also marital issues. And that's why we came up with these two books. One we titled Before the Wedding Bell, or Before the Wedding Ring, rather, Before the Wedding Ring. This one is basically to counsel young people who are planning to go into marriage, knowing that marriage is not only in the form fair of the wedding glamour. But marriage is a lifelong relationship, and if they understand that, then it will help them to actually have a blissful marriage. Some think that all about marriage is the glamour of the wedding day. But this book is to bring to the information of those who are going into marriage to know that there are preparations you need to make as a person or as two persons who are coming into the agreement to live as husband and wife. There are preparations. And to understand that marriage is not for professionals, marriage is for learners. So that you don't begin to think that your spouse should be a professional. And that's why people say, no, I thought that he was like this. I thought that she is like this. Why is it that what I thought is not what I'm saying? That's because your thoughts may not be actual Your thought may even be as it may be a fallacy. Your thoughts may even be the pretense people go through in the course of wooing one another into relationship. But the reality of marriage is that anyone going into marriage must be ready to make commitments. And that's what this book emphasizes. You must make commitment yourself, personally, as a man, as a woman. Marriage is more or less a commitment. If you are not ready to be committed to your area of responsibility, then marriage will be a difficult thing. That is what this book is meant to bring to bear. That's what this book is meant to um, enlighten those who read them. So for us, it is a process. Then the second one had to do with divorce is not the solution. Divorce is not the solution. Building a strong marriage through effective conflict resolution. So for us, marriage will be blissful. Marriage will be successful if both the husband and wife can always sit on the discussion table, on the table of communication, to be able to communicate to one another. Because most of the things that bring about divorce is not communicated. It's only an assumption. I thought he should know. I thought he should do this. I thought he should be like this. But the person may not have known what you want, how you want him or her to do what you want him to do. And that is why there should be communication. There should be communication. Two people have to communicate and share your minds together. Then, even if there is conflict, area of disagreement, you also sit down to analyze this area of disagreement and have agreements on how to go about the issues that concerns your marriage. Uh, Sometimes people compare their marriages with other marriages. They don't even know the background. They don't know their do's and don'ts. They don't know what they go through in the marriages. They only see the facial outlook, the demonstration, maybe the uniform, the way the people they relate with one another in public. So they only see the public show of the marriage of another person and use it to compare their own marriage. Unknown that that marriage they saw in the public that is glittering has a very difficult part, has an enduring part, has a part of patience and perseverance. This is all that it entails. When we talk about divorce, it's not the solution. Some persons have criticized the book to say, forget it. If divorce is not the solution, you want me to die first before, if I die, then will there be marriage? That is because you don't want to work on your marriage. If you work on your marriage, then there will be no death. If you work on your marriage, all you get is joy. All you get is blissfulness. All you get is understanding. Because definitely the two people that are coming together in marriage are not born by the same parents. They don't come from maybe the same biological background. They don't come from, some don't come from the same ethnic background. So there are differences they bring in to form this marriage. And that's why even the Bible says the man shall leave his father and mother and be cleaved to his wife, and both of them shall become one flesh. That point of cleaving, that is where people break a marriage. That is where divorce comes in marriage. Because when you don't labor to cleave, when you don't work to cleave in marriage, then definitely marriage will end. That marriage will succeed. then the process of giving. So that's what, if you don't cleave, then it will be difficult to enjoy marriage. And that cleaving point is where people go their different ways and say, no, I can't tolerate anymore. Because, like I said earlier, the first book before the wedding ring, what we communicated there is that there are signs you will see. For instance, if it's a man or a woman who have temperamental problem, who is temperamental, and during your courtship, you are able to see that this man or this woman is temperamental. If you can't cope with a temperamental man or woman, then there will be no need of going into the marriage. So you knew the man, you knew the woman, he is temperamental. He hardly makes sacrifice. These are signs that is revealed to you during courtship. But people still go ahead and say, no, I can cope with it. If you can cope with it, that means you must make sacrifice on how to overcome that temperamental issue of your spouse. And if you don't, they are to only say, no, I can't cope with it anymore. When already you are in the consummation of the marriage, then you are not sincere. You are not sincere. That means you were not sincere originally. Probably there was the reason why you went into the marriage. Maybe the glamour, the money, or the physique of the person who you want to marry. You say, I like how robust she look. I like how slim she is. So all of those things are the things many people look at. But marriage is beyond the physical outlook. Marriage is beyond even the money. We have seen people who have money, but yet can't keep marriage. So keeping marriage is beyond money. Money is good, money is fine, but money does not keep marriage. Money can put flavor in marriage, but money can keep marriage. Because people think it is the money that keeps the marriage. No, it is the sacrifice, it is the commitment, it is the understanding, it is the love that keeps the marriage. And when all these things are not there, when they are not genuine, when they are not real, definitely that marriage can't work. And all of these signs portray itself during the premarital session of the marriage. Before the marriage is consummated, all of these signs portray itself, they show as you court with your spouse. But if you don't look at them and handle them to see whether you can cope with it, can I cope with this man? It's very harsh. Can I cope with this woman? She doesn't understand. It takes her time to understand. Then if your spouse takes time to understand, that means you need to do more to make him or her understand better in the course of the marriage. So you find out that marriage is all about the work. In fact, the Bible said, if you don't work, you don't eat. So marriage is all about working, and when you work, then you begin to eat the fruit of your labor. So but when you have not put in work in marriage, definitely there will be nothing for you to harvest. There will be no grace, no favor for you to harvest in marriage. Remember that Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22, the Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. There is the first find, then there is the second find. The first find is before the marriage. And now the marital form, the wedding, the traditional, the wedding, that is the first stage. Then after that stage, the Bible now says, find a good thing. So you must discover the good things in yourselves as you run the marriage, as you consummate the marriage. But the problem is that many don't want to put in that commitment of finding. They want an already made. It must be an already made attitude, already made man, already made woman. He must have a house, he must have a good car. She must be a graduate, a first class graduate. She must be a master's degree holder. She must be a lecturer or a banker, and all of this. So the man is not coming to marry a woman who he will work on. He just wants an already made woman who already had money of her own, who probably have a car of her own. The same thing with the women. The woman doesn't want a man who he will join to build a home. He wants a man who has already built his home. So he's coming in as to eat. He's coming in to enjoy. He's coming in to have fun. But you don't have fun where you have not worked. So that is the reality of the scripture. So marriage is all about the work, then the eating. When you work, then you eat. When you plant, then you harvest. These are the concepts that if we follow in marriage, then we'll have a very wonderful marriage and a very blissful marriage. Thank you. Maybe I stop here for a while.
Thank you so very much for sharing. And I'm glad that
All right.
this episode, we are starting with this episode this year, and I'm sure I'm going to be first by it as well. Thank you very much for that answer. So I'd like to ask, how did you first hear about PubCode Publishing? How did you hear about us? Was like somebody to try you, see us online?
You say, how do I come about the...
Yes, how did you first hear about PubCode Publishing? How did you come about us? Did you hear about us online? Did somebody refer you to us or something?
Okay, it was actually online. I saw the content of or the content of your publications online. So I read through and I felt maybe I could give your company a chance to publish my book.
I remember the time he sent us a message on WhatsApp. Remember one of my staff telling me that, oh, we have this client.
I can't hear you anymore. Okay, maybe network.
So I said, I remember the day you finally decided to work with us. I remember one of my staff came to me telling me that, oh, there's this client who had reached out, I think a month or two before. And then, when you were ready, you just came and then you dropped your manuscript. I remember you went ahead and made payment that day, made part payment that day. Very expecting it. So I was like, oh, so this person actually really wants to work with us. And your glasses are close to work with us. Thank you very much for that. So I'd like to ask, what made you decide to trust us with your book project, knowing pretty well that this is online?
All right. One was that I haven't seen any of you before. I only saw that publication and I decided to go through it and then see what I always want people to be the one to fail. If I trust you with something, you should be the one who should make me not to trust you anymore. And so I decided to go ahead. Me, I like taking risks. It's either I lose the money or I gain from it. So for me, I've seen all you said. I've chatted with the company and I've seen their response. I asked for the trust and they said they could be trusted. I felt, all right, if they could be trusted, it's okay, let's give it a try. And I gave it a try and it actually worked. You could also see that recently I referred somebody to your company for a publication. That's how I work. And I think that is how our society should work. If somebody says this is what I can do, and people should trust him or her with that responsibility. and see what he or she makes out of it. And I've trusted you with that responsibility, and you didn't fail.
I like to ask, delivered copies of your books. How did you feel when you got your book in your hand? How did you feel when you held your first work with your two books? When you held it and you saw the books, how did you feel? What was it feeling like?
Okay, when I got the books,
Yes, when you got the hard copy, you got the books, how did you feel like?
okay, in fact, to be sincere, I think I liked everything about the book. Initially, and to also appreciate your company. Those who worked with me then tried so much. In fact, they helped me to put most of the things together. In fact, I knew I presented the initial what is it called, title to the books, and later they had to look at it with me and possibly fine tune it so that the concept can actually meet with the content of the book. And that was very good. And let me say that I commend your company. It was a very good one. Most people who picked it and read liked it, and that was the reason why the person I recommend to you, that is the reason why he saw the presentation of the book, the final outlook of the book, and I knew he loved it. And that was why he also asked me where I published.
Thank you very much for that. All right. So next now, there are people looking at watching or listening to this particular conversation of ours. So I'd like to ask, what advice would you give somebody who intends to write a book? There's somebody watching us right now, and they know with their heart that I also have a message I need to share my word. I have an experience that I was able to go through, and I need to share with the world, or have the solutions and problems that people usually encounter that I need to share with the world. What advice would you give somebody that are watching us today?
All right. My advice to those who want to write or publish their book is, first of all, um, you don't put the money as the first priority, because if the reason why you're publishing is because of the money, you may not be happy at the end. But if the reason why you are publishing is to reach out to people as a means of reaching out, as a means of communicating, um, your perspective over the issue you want to address, I tell you definitely it will go well. Because publishing these days, you put in so much, and sometimes it doesn't come as soon as you put in the resources to publish. Knowing also that publication now, the monetary involvement is actually very high, because of cost of materials and all. But you should see publication, or you should see writing as a means of communicating your idea, as a means of bringing in something that you feel that people need to know about, or they've known about it, but you are bringing a new idea, a new concept of reaching out to the unreached. I tell you that it will work. But if the money is the priority, you may not be happy at the end of the day. But if it is the concept or the issue you want to address is the priority while you are writing, then definitely you will be happy in the long run, because the feedback you will get will make you continue to write more. For me, it is the feedback that I'm able to solve a problem. I'm able to reach out to people beyond my geographical location. I'm able to reach out people worldwide through publishing online and all of that. I'm able to communicate to people who in a lifetime may not have opportunity to see me one-on-one or to for me to to counsel them. So the book or the publication is all out there, counseling people and addressing and solving people's problems. So publications should be more or less solving problems. If what you're going to publish can't solve problems, can't take people from the level where they are to the next level, then there will be no need to write. There will be no need to write. So my advice is, it is good to write. Then it is also good to write something that is new, something that brings in a new idea on how to solve problems. So writing should be problem solving. Should be problem solving. Should be to add value to the society, to add value to people's life, and to make people's life better, to bring in a concept or a strategy to make people do well, to make people achieve success, achieve their desired goal in whatever they do. And especially for us, for me, the issue of marriage is a priority for me. For me, to live well in marriage is a priority. To have an enduring marriage, a marriage that overcome challenges, overcome storms of life is my priority.
Thank you for that. I think that our listeners have been one of the things of what you said. Thank you so very much. So, for those that are watching us, I said so much about these two books. I have the book there, what making me, and then the books not. So, if you're interested in the topics of this book, for yourself or for somebody, what drop the things to which there the manual so that you can be able to get some information back to you. Also, I think it's so the book start that I have people online as well to said drop the links to the book online so that you can get what to be in case you're not able to get that popular as well. So it's something that I've worked on. If you're watching us where right now, there Lord, my Lord, the singles or the married ones, this is something I will work on that you don't get and what of next to your clients as well and your community as well. So I'd like to ask, sir, should we be expecting another book from this?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Very, very soon. Very, very soon, yes.
Thank you so very much for the show. You take your time here because, and I believe that the insights you shared was the first step in those conversations. Please make sure you watch it, listen to it again, and move on to share it with somebody that needs to listen to it and leave insight from this perspective. Thank you so very much for going on.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you and your company in the name of Jesus. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we'll come your way again next time on another episode of Bye bye.